Hey kids, you trying to get into Segment City? Well, you really shouldn't, because Segment City is a mature podcast, and listener discretion is advised. I'm just trying to look at... I know I'm in an alleyway. I know how I look, but I got some fireworks for you kids. I got snakes and I got sparklers. That's all I got. Oh, don't give me that.
Will, I made a whole... You ever make a whole cheesecake for just you? You say this is a personal pie.
I'm the Cheesecake Factory today.
I am both the factory and the factory consumer.
Oh, it's gonna go into storage, and by that I mean my tummy.
Warm storage, hot storage.
Oh, okay, I don't know the process to make cheesecake. Is it anything like, do you need to ferment anything? Do you need to do anything special, or is it just like put stuff together?
You basically whip together with like a hand, like a beater, like with your hand.
Yeah.
Like cream cheese and sugar and like egg. And that kind of makes it, and then you bake it and it becomes like this solid piece of, when you're eating a cheesecake, it's mostly
cheese.
Cream cheese.
Yeah, it's mostly cream cheese. It's mostly cream cheese.
It's pretty much a block of cream cheese. But I think the thing that I realized by making a whole cheesecake was, when I was contemplating this task, I thought, yeah, I like cheesecake enough. I'm gonna eat a lot of this cheesecake.
Yeah.
And then you eat one piece of cheesecake and you're like, that's it for the whole year. I'll say I can't do any more of this.
Bye,
That's
everybody.
all over. Please, no more.
Too much cheesecake for me.
So I had I had a pretty good sized slice, and so did my girlfriend. And then we sort of looked at it in the fridge for a week. And
how
very, very small slices at a time after that. But initially big slice. And then after that, I was like, I can only do a tiny amount.
This is, very bold of you, because I'm thinking, I'm picturing just regular cake size. And having even just a regular full cake for two people.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot. And I would say a cheesecake is easily triple the density of another type of cake.
So
it's basically like having 3 cakes in your fridge. It's not
it's
great.
not.
But I will say this. Yeah. I'm making it again because it was such a tasty cake that I'm gonna bring it to a holiday get together, because I'm like, it's really tasty, and everybody at a get together loves one slice of cheesecake, and I bet it's gonna be a hit.
Yeah. I think I would agree with that. Did you add a specific flavor? Did you make it like caramel?
It was a pumpkin cheesecake.
Oh,
it was very tasty.
That does sound
very
tasty.
seasonal, festive. Yes.
Very seasonal, festive indeed. But yeah, cheesecakes are not known for being particularly light or calorie.
They're not like
light.
They're not. I wouldn't use the word snackable.
No,
to describe a cheesecake particularly.
Nobody's going out on the street and sees a street vendor that has cheesecake and goes, "Ooh, just a little bit of an appetizer."
I did see in Japan. In Japan, they have vending machines for everything, and one of the things we saw in the airport was the Buddy Velastro Cake Boss cake vending machine. And so you could buy like $10 slice of cake and it gets vended out of this vending machine. But who's in the airport just like, I got to get a slice of cake. I can't get through this whole airport experience without a slice of cake.
That sounds so terrible to me as somebody who has like gastrointestinal and anxiety stuff of like, because when I'm at the airport, I can barely have peanuts. Like my stomach just goes, no, we're not dealing with this. We're in life and death situation. Even the concept of having a cheesecake at the airport is making me sick.
Imagine downing a whole slice, a $10 slice of cheesecake, and then being told, all right, time to do takeoff.
Yeah, that's... Annie and I were in the car and we're listening to my brother and me, another great podcast. And they had a question that was like, I made like way too many hot dogs, and so I'm gonna I'm having friends over. Do you think we could have like 20 hot dogs each if we like space it out by an hour? And they talked about it for so long about eating all these hot dogs that it started to make me nauseous. And
you rounded the corner where they started and you're like, I could go for a hot dog. And then 20 minutes into the segment, you're like, I'm going to throw up if I even think about another hot dog.
Because I'm contemplating eating a hot dog every hour. And that's
terrible.
That's terrible.
That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare situation.
Yeah, that's ugh. But, it's not a nightmare situation, but does have a lot of hot dog eating contests. Segment City.
Yeah, that's right.
My name's Will Kane, and I'm full of hot dogs. I'm gonna be honest. I did kind of submit to my desires.
Joey Chestnutting over here.
Joey Chestnut Segment City, yes.
And I'm Theo Sapakos, and I eat a slice of cheesecake every hour on the hour.
That's so gross. You would be.
That's nasty.
Imagine.
I would be Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
It would just turn my whole skin into just ripples of cheesecake.
I gotta say, if you ever became an actor and had to become fat like Christian Bale in Dick Cheney role, then cheesecake would be a very good way to.
It would be a pretty good way to do it. You'd never want to see a slice of cheesecake again in your life, though.
Yeah.
Like force feeding cheesecake is a nightmare. That's horrible.
Oh, do you even consider that? Ugh.
I don't like that. No, we got to move on.
Yeah. One thing though? I think it was Peter Jackson was making The Lovely Bones or something, which has a father character.
Lovely bones. Oh, look at these bones.
And Ryan Gosling, I think, wanted the role, but he didn't. So he started drinking melted ice cream to fatten himself up to get into the body shape.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. It's a great strategy,
really
but it's also once he went to Peter Jackson, they're like, "You don't have the no. What are you doing? Why'd you do that? We didn't give you the role." He's like, "Oh man,
I drank all this ice cream for nothing." Oh, jeez.
But this is a podcast in which Theo and I we present segments each week. We dumpster dive our way through the internet. We get all those good comedy morsels and we package them into segments like the first segment of the day, which is Will's Stupid Thought. Theo, have you seen advertisements for that new Willy Wonka movie?
Wonka! Everybody loves Wonka.
With Timothy Chalamet. Everybody's favorite Xbox gamer from the Game Awards is here.
Yes, true.
And he's showing everybody all the wonderful origins of that wacky character that, you know what?
You were sure wondering about it. How do you get that cane? What's the deal with the top hat?
This is you're joking about it, but it makes me mad because I hate when mysterious characters get origin movies, which they do so much.
You didn't want to see the Joker? You wanted to just remain in the dark?
The Joker was okay because they're doing their own thing, and it's not really like Batman. He didn't get dipped in the chemicals. It's not like Two-Face like I was complaining about last week or whatever. Or it's always Two-Face whenever you show Harvey Dent.
What if at the Joker, the whole movie was exactly the same, but at the very last scene, he slips and falls into a vat of acid? How would that make you feel?
He slips on a banana. He goes, I'm hero for the tour. He's just totally apropos of anything. Nothing.
He's dancing up and down those steps on the famous staircase scene.
And he goes, whoopsie. And then
at some point he goes, whoa, and someone had set up a vat of acid right at the bottom for him.
How would I feel about that? Was your question?
Yeah, how would you feel about that? Yeah.
Bad. It would not be good.
Bad.
I would not be happy about it. It would be silly. I think I would laugh. I think it would actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because that movie, we saw it for free because of your association with Warner Brothers, and I brought my girlfriend, and she, I think, was the most depressed I've ever seen her coming out of a movie. It was
everyone was like, whoa, this movie. I will tell you this. I had the opportunity to see Wonka last week for free, and I said, no chance, not happening, thumbs down.
I thought it was just coming to Netflix. I was like, I'll watch it if I was drunk one night, I guess. But it's
Oompa Loompa, Doompity Nope.
Yeah. Doompity don't. So my question, this is the Will Stupid Thought of this. This is all prelude to that. What is a character that you would want to see the origins for? That they have not gone into an origin story?
A character I want to see the origins for that I know nothing about the origins of already.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could if you want, because I'll tell you mine one. that I thought of.
Sure.
Because there probably is an origin scene where he gets dipped in acid too. But I want to see Skeletor's face melt.
Skeletor.
I want to see. I would love if they did the he's a good guy in this movie, but then he becomes a bad guy. Like he's the hero and then becomes like disenfranchised or like disillusioned with the world.
Right.
I think that would be fun origin because then
he starts off. Listen, there are no bad people. They've just been through bad stuff, and that makes them that way. You know, Skeletor. He wasn't always Skeletor.
Yeah. Here's the question though: does he start with the voice? Does he go, "Hi, my name's Paul, and I love to do good things"?
Yes, I think absolutely. Yes, I think he has to. Right?
Man, Paul, you got a real evil voice that would fit a skeleton man. He goes, What are you talking about? I'm only going to do good for my entire life. And then he looks at the camera knowingly and is like, That's
Did we ever get an origin story for? No, see, I keep saying I was gonna say, you know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say Yoda, but I don't want to know his origin story.
He's also old as hell, so I think
he's also old as hell because that would be
like
a lot of
montage.
origin story.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking about that in terms of Star Wars because they were talking about like the Old Republic, like using that as the next kind of. They got to do that because I'm getting sick of the current Star Wars bullshit.
Yeah.
Just do the same stuff because like the Old Republic, they're like Jedi's everywhere, Sith everywhere. Because that's my big problem with the modern ones is it's like everything's explained, everyone has an origin story, and everybody is a Jedi now.
This question that you've posed to me is pointing out that people love to tell an origin story.
Oh,
I basically know. I'm trying to come up with characters, and I know a lot of origin stories.
Yeah,
is basically what I'm coming down to.
Any superhero already covered. Superman, Spider-Man, even Daredevil. Like I've seen his origin a couple of times already.
Yeah, no, I mean it's like the first story you tell of a superhero is their origin story. So it basically blocks off the whole calendar. I mean the whole category, not calendar. Yeah.
Maybe a Morpheus. They would do that. A Morpheus from the Matrix origin. I'm surprised they haven't done that. Now that I'm saying it out loud.
But do I want to see that? Like
people
not
would
really.
see that.
People would, but I wouldn't like it.
I don't know if it'd work. They would have to get a different actor.
They're doing a Furiosa origin story. No one's asking for this, but I'm honestly excited about it.
I am excited
like,
because the last movie that he did was amazing. Because Fury Road rocks, but. Yeah. This is I didn't mean to put you on the spot in terms of what characters. Maybe how about this? Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Too sad.
Oh man, didn't they also have a cartoon of him? Like I think they
probably
they had some adventures with him.
What about like Gordon Ramsay? What's his deal? Tell me about his tortured childhood.
That's just a documentary.
What's his deal?
That's not very fun.
Yeah, tell me why he's so angry.
No,
what's this man's deal?
He's angry because cameras like angry people on reality TV.
I want to see the moment where he realized that he was talented at being angry. That was a commodifiable attribute about himself. I wanted to see that moment happen on camera. On camera.
You know what's one that I just thought of that if you did it right, it would be awesome. Predator. If
could be rad.
Went back
that
to
could be super rad.
Like do origin stuff for how they became a weird predator race. Like
totally
alien stuff. Do that.
What's the deal?
It'd be fun.
But then I think the issue there is that it would be mostly about predators. And do I want to see a whole movie there are no humans. It's only predators. Like he gets back and he's like, Mom, I think I want to go into hunting. And she's like, no, you have to get an office job. And he's like, no, but I really like hunting.
You know what? I could make this a whole thing. It's like, be an accountant. You should be an accountant like your brother. And it's like, but I want to rip people's spines out. No.
You have to finish your homework before you can play Mortal Kombat.
Oh, man. But I want to be Sub-Zero. No, if they did, I will counterpoint to that. I know you didn't see it, but the Warcraft movie, the humans were the most boring, generic bullshit, and then the orcs were very interesting. So, like, it can work if you do it right. But I think maybe you need to, like, tone down the humans. Although humans in these kinds of movies are always boring. Because they always do that in Godzilla, where they're like...
What are you talking about? Predator? Arnie? Arnie's great in Predator.
Arnie's great in it, but can you... I can point out other characters in the original one. But in all the other Predator movies... Because the original Predator is a good movie, that's why. But anyway...
that's why. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Let's move on to my next segment.
I know, we're skipping right over me.
Yeah,
we'll get to me.
We discussed this before we we went into the podcast. But
Sometimes we coordinate, believe it or not.
believe it or not. But this is a WikiHow article where I'm going to teach you, Theo, how to be annoying. I know you don't need that help.
Knock down those pins. You really set them up for yourself and knocked them right down.
Got him.
Got him. Boom, roasted.
Oh, man. But this was co-authored by Hunter Rising, which has to be a username. I can't imagine somebody's last name is Rising.
No. I think if you're on WikiHow and you've gotten this far, you know
how to be annoying. Yeah, a lot of the people on WikiHow are kind of annoying, but
like are you on WikiHow again? No.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point of if you envision the user base of WikiHow, I do imagine somebody being like, "No, that's not how you do that. You should be doing it this way." But annoying other people can be a fun thing to do if you do it in moderation. And this is
everything in moderation.
If we go back to the how to be a furry, this is the equivalent of when they said 1 billion times that you don't need a fursuit to be a furry, because they say this so often in this article where they just go, it's fun to be annoying, but don't do it too much because people like punch you and shit if you do, like there's consequences. Whether you're talking,
I feel like okay, yeah, moderation around being annoying, it kind of is antithetical to being annoying, but that's fine. That's just one man's opinion.
Whether you're talking to someone in person, chatting over text, or interacting online, you can easily annoy them in a variety of ways. Just make sure you don't do anything that would cause you to lose friends or get in trouble. Method 1, irritating others around you. The first thing that they suggest, sing a catchy pop song so it gets stuck in someone else's head. Which we all know is the most annoying. And when somebody's, I think it's worse when they say, "Oh, this song is stuck in my head," and then they sing it to you,
and they start doing it, and then you're like, "Cool, thanks a lot." This any Christmas carol, any time of year, you want to be annoying? Sing Christmas carols any other time of year.
Oh, that's
or during the holiday season. That's fine too.
That's actually in the Geneva Convention for war crimes. While you're around a group of people, start humming, whistling, or singing a popular song that most people around you would know. Keep up the tune, even if people ask you to stop right away. Popular songs that many people know, and this is, I'm going to say, is an act of terrorism, the ones that they suggest.
Okay.
It's a Small World and Baby Shark.
Yeah.
Those are terrible. I hate that. And
whenever you hear someone humming or whistling that, you know instantly that they're trying to be annoying.
Yeah.
There's no, or that someone annoying got to them, that they've been infected.
That is true. It is a contagion.
Because it spreads. Yeah, it spreads.
And then they also say the same. You were ahead of the article. Try singing holiday songs such as Christmas songs in June or July.
Got him.
2, click a pen repeatedly to make annoying sounds.
You ever have nothing to do at work, and so you just click, and then you realize you work from home, and there's no one around
so you
to
just
be annoyed.
Annoy yourself.
You're like, damn it, Dan, not again.
They say start by slowly clicking it as if you're using your pen normally. Then slowly increase the speed until it constantly makes a clicking noise.
So sort of a slow clap situation.
This is diabolical. Like the fact that they're like, you know how you make this even more annoying is if you go...
You start slow. But it's really good. Yeah, it's really annoying. I can't stand that. And I'm sure we're losing listeners. That's great.
3, say random numbers while someone is trying to count something.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's a classic.
That's a classic.
You know, if somebody, for example, if they're counting 14, 15, 16, you may shout out 19, 37, 12, 23. Wait until they reach higher numbers before interrupting them, since that'll be more likely to forget their place. This is whoever wrote this article. Oh, I mean, I know who wrote this article, but Hunter Rising, I feel like, is a pseudonym, so I don't actually know.
Behind the veil,
because he needs to be behind the veil because this person is a terrorist. It was like before he established they are diabolical. 4, this is, I mean, my girlfriend does this by accident. She doesn't mean to do this.
Yeah.
Set random alarms around your home to annoy your family.
Yeah, no, I hate that. That's really obnoxious. That's erratic behavior. That's borderline sociopathic.
What, you don't want an alarm going off at 2:13 p.m.? I can't believe
What is
it.
that supposed to be for?
This is the reason this article is especially spicy to me is because they keep adding in these little things that I'm like, don't say look, the base thing was already annoying enough. Stop adding these like difficulty
adding layers to the
modifiers.
cake.
Yeah. Make alarms 1 to 2 minutes apart. So as soon as someone turns off one of the alarms, another one starts going off. That is so annoying. 5, chew food with your mouth open to gross out other people. And
This is just how to lose friends.
Yeah, so-
this is all how to lose friends.
Method 2, holding annoying conversations.
Ah, yes, the energy vampire.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
familiar with this body of work.
1, talk loudly to be disruptive to other people. Raise your voice until you're nearly shouting while you're having a regular conversation
I
with
can't
someone.
imagine anybody employing these tactics on purpose.
Yeah, you
like
can't-
there's so many people that we both know that do this and they have no awareness.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that someone would want to do this on purpose is mind-boggling.
This is the diabolical angle. If they ask you to quiet down, pretend that you didn't hear them and keep talking loudly, which is how they do. A lot of going with your point, a lot of the loud people, they'll say like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Right.
But imagine the fury if you're like,
So anyway, I was going to the stadium,
and they're like, sir, can you like dial it down a few?
and then I got a hot dog.
Like they just get louder and it's just terrible. Oh, another thing they say, ask what after everything they say to act like you can't hear them at all.
It's mean.
So mean.
What?
Huh? Oh, so infuriating. 2, and you and I think do this to each other, but it's fine. And we might do this to other people, but nobody's ever complained to me necessarily. Interrupt the other person while they're talking.
Oh yeah, big time. Love a good interrupt. Let me cut you
Yeah,
off
let me-
right there.
cut
I
you
have
off.
something to say.
We all know how this goes. From editing the podcast for many years, there's many times or talking
You
at the
gotta-
same time.
Yes. When you have something to say on this podcast, you let it fly. That's the rule we've instated.
Yeah,
all right?
there's 2 of us. We don't give a shit. I don't care if it's how you and I communicate, like even in
Feel
our
personally
day-to-day
attacked.
life. Like that's
Yes.
normally how we talk. 3, look at your phone while someone is talking to you to act distracted. People do this absent-mindedly, and I think that's more frustrating.
So then I visited, my grandmother in the hospital, and she was getting to her last final. Are you checking?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Are you checking,
I'm on Twitter right now, and I'm tweeting.
You checking Wario 64 for hot dog deals? You got to really get in on these hot dog deals that he's flagging for you.
Some dumb bitch is telling me about some old granny that did. Sorry,
I was trying to tell you about hot dog deals now, and you're not even listening to my hot dog deal story. So fine, you know what? That's it.
I already
You're out of
Googled all the hot dog deals before you got it. I don't need you. I just need the internet.
Oh, okay.
Method 3, annoying people over text. And this is the one I think I was most interested in to see how do you
the most easy one to annoy to ignore. I feel like.
Yeah, the ones in person I've encountered, and a lot of people, like we said, do it not knowing they're doing it. Send messages early in the morning or late at night to wake people up.
So this is actually a question that I have.
Yeah.
Do you keep your phone on some sort of setting that it would buzz early in the morning or late at night? Because I do not. I turn off my phone at night. If you have something to say to me between like 11 and 7,
It's in working
waiting
hours.
until the morning.
Yeah, it's in working hours. I don't. I keep it on buzz, but I sleep pretty soundly, and also I have like a side table that I have my like spare pillow on. Like it's just become. I have a weird like pile of stuff. Don't we all? That's like, but like that absorbs a lot of the vibrations, so I don't. It wouldn't wake me up, is what I'm saying. If you know your friends go to sleep early or sleep on the weekends, set out texts at 2 a.m. or 6 a.m. to wake them up. Tell them that you have an important or urgent question, but then tell a joke or ask a pointless question. For example, you may first send, "Help! I need you to answer a question right now. It's an emergency." once they respond, ask something like, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there, it doesn't make a sound. Or, why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh, comedy gold, baby!
Also, send 4 to 5 messages in a row to make their phone go off to wake them up.
Actually, this is something rational, normal people do that is annoying. The stream of consciousness texting. I do not like this.
Oh, yeah.
Where they say one sentence, hit send, do another sentence, hit send. I want the consolidated paragraph text.
Yeah.
Where I can read it and then respond to you in full. I do not like the stream of consciousness.
I'll do amendments maybe in another text, but I do the big paragraph myself. 2, text multiple messages in a row to spam the other person. So it's just go like the example they have is, hey, 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 and they say, stop. Why? Like, so annoying. 3, respond with 1-word replies to stall the conversation. If someone sends you a long message, type okay, K, or cool as your response, even if it doesn't make sense.
It just makes you seem like a dick. That's not annoying. That makes you seem like a dick bag.
It's absolutely dick bag material because like the example they have, do you have a group assignment for tomorrow? Okay.
That doesn't make any sense. That's a question.
This happened with my brother recently. He did not do this on purpose, but I think he was just like stoned or something. I could like, it was totally because he asked me, hey, what is that thing that your girlfriend does that's like knitting? And I'm like, knitting or cross stitch? Because she does cross stitch too. And he just said, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
So
I like that.
ugh. But 4, don't respond to a message for a few hours to keep the other person waiting. This is I gotta
this
say,
is something I do.
Yeah, this is a
but
Theo special. It's not on purpose.
Well,
though.
this is mostly either there are 2 scenarios here.
Yeah.
1, I legitimately don't see it, or 2, I see it and then I forget.
Yeah,
And that happens more often than you'd think.
I do. I know everyone does that. I think it's also depends on what service for you. I think you have different response rates for different, because it's like if it's Facebook Messenger, you do not respond to that. You text, you're pretty good about. Discord, you're pretty good about. Anything else, not going to get an answer from you. They also say to reply with something ridiculous like, sorry, I was scuba diving in my pool, or I would have gotten back to you sooner, but my dog ate my phone. Stupid.
Honestly, that makes you sound like you live a pretty eventful life.
That's
but
right.
if you keep insisting every time I send you a text that your dog ate your phone, I'll start to, at some point I'll realize that you don't have a dog. All right. I'll catch on.
It'll be a bit like, then it becomes a bit and then that's acceptable. But this is like the least unacceptable thing I think that they've had. If there's an actual emergency or urgent message, respond to it immediately. I think this is just for like legal liability.
Right.
Method.
It's like when you call the hospital and they're like, if this is a medical emergency, hang up and call 911.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what they're doing right here. It's like,
hi, I'm bleeding to death, actually. They're like, what? Method 4, being annoying online. And I think they could have just truncated this to being online. Because most people online are annoying as shit.
Yeah. I kind of think we're getting to the point with technology that if you had someone who is really annoying you, you could just reroute their messages to a chatbot and forget about them entirely. They could be talking with a fake person and not wasting any more of your time. And they'd think that they were just like building a relationship with somebody, but it's just AI.
Hey, WikiHow, this is free stuff for you because this is how to deal with annoying people. And in a way that is, in a way, psychopathic. Because you just kind of, you would realize, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you would realize, but then I've seen some good chatbots. They're kind of getting, pretty good chatbots. They're getting to the Turing level.
Yeah. You just like have it occasionally respond and act kind of confused about what's going on. That's probably the desired effect of the annoying person, right? Yeah. They're getting what they want, and you are getting what you want by never hearing from them again.
But then what if it breaks down and starts like, this is a recipe for cheesecake. And they're like, I wasn't even talking about that. This is a bot. I can't believe
you get your friend really into cheesecake by accident.
Oh, no, he's giving me a bunch of cheesecake every time I see him now.
Now I need an AI to eat all this cheesecake.
That's the next AI. I know my brother could use that because he likes baking, but then you end up with baked foods. Like, it's like, what do we do with this? So being annoying online, one, post multiple social media updates every day to spam people's news feeds. Now, this kind of came into my life recently because I went to my reunion and there was somebody who was a like Instagram influencer person. And I was like, oh, I'll be nice and I'll follow them or whatever. Constant updates, which is just unfollow. It's fair because so easy. Their job, but it is like it's also like videos, and I feel like those are more annoying.
But that's also like going to a get together with friends, and you're like, yeah, follow me on LinkedIn because I'm really big on my career, and you need my career updates. It's like if you're expecting someone to be subject to your career as an influencer, then like, I don't know, separate that from your friends maybe?
Yeah. We should do a segment about LinkedIn influencers because I didn't know that was a thing until like very recently because it's It's the same like HR people kind of talk. But they say instead of like 1 or 2 posts a day, post like 5 to 10 annoying posts.
I mean, even 1 to 2 is kind of annoying.
Number 2, write in all caps and make it seem like you're shouting. So you could type things like, my buttons are broken, if you're ever called out on it. But then
this is some middle school. This is all middle school behavior.
Yeah, there's absolutely.
Have you started getting those messages from, you ever log into Facebook and it's like, here's something you posted 12 years ago. Have you been seeing these messages?
I've seen, I don't go on Facebook all that often, but like when it does, it's always just like a weird picture of me when I was younger. And I'm like, I don't want to see that.
For me, it's like really cringy statuses that I posted when I was like 15. Oof. And I was like, I don't need to see this. Yeah, this is not.
Hey, remember this?
It's like, they're like, would you like to repost this to your timeline? And I was like, I don't even post my current thoughts. Why would I want to post my 15-year-old thoughts? That's horrifying.
That's
such a stupid feature.
They should add that to this, is repost your old 15-year-old thoughts. But we have all seen this. It is all caps is shouting, but they say don't use all caps if you need to send a professional email. That being said, I've absolutely
protect that career. All right, yeah. Put it to the side. It's time to be professional.
I've absolutely gotten all caps messages from engineers. Engineers are not great at messaging.
Shouting.
Yeah. 3, share links to annoying videos to bother your friends, like the Rickroll, which they say is the most popular one, as well as Baby Shark, which is another annoying link that they have. And then they have the URLs, like you can't just Google this yourself. 4, tag multiple people and hashtags in one post to seem desperate for attention.
But hey, if you're on this article, you are desperate. What do you mean seem? You are desperate for attention.
But are you doing, this is going to be a lot of hashtag. I'm just going to say there's a hashtag for every single word for this. Just had breakfast. Isn't that cool? Like every single word of that was
every single one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they also, I love basketball, go team, sports, shoot hoops, NBA.
I think hashtag shoot is not great.
No, shoot hoops.
That's probably not a good. No, hashtag shoot is not good.
Oh, yeah,
you don't want hashtag shoot.
Shoot hoops was one word. It's very
okay. Yeah, I think that they probably looked at that and were like, hashtag shoot is not something we should endorse.
That's imagine if they found the school shooters because they post hashtag shoot.
Oh no, that's bad.
If your friends untag themselves from the post, tag them again. Which is so annoying. But I wanted to, I don't know if we normally get into this, but they have community Q&A. And I wanted to highlight a few of these.
See what the community's got to say. Yeah.
They say any tips, warnings, don't get in real trouble.
Keep those grades up. Like the McElroy said.
Yeah. This is a very key one. How am I supposed to be annoying without getting into trouble? That's the thing you want to, that's the thing.
Gotta walk. It's a fine line. It's the thin blue line. Yeah. But no, wait, hold on. That's not right. It's the thin annoying line.
This answer kind of goes with that, but that is very stupid. That's the thing. You want to get in trouble with that person. Otherwise, you're not annoying them sufficiently. If you are scared to do so,
you want to get in trouble with them?
Yeah.
You want them to also get in trouble.
No, you with them as in they're mad at you. Like that's the whole point of being
Oh,
annoying.
I see.
Like if you're not, I think what they're saying is if you're not getting in trouble, you're not doing it right. But then they say in the article multiple times, don't get in trouble and don't ruin your relationships. So it's like, what do you want?
That's right. And also keep that professional career safe and make sure that you're, in case of a real emergency, call a real authority and don't pretend.
I do love that they just say like, don't be a pussy though. Like, don't be a big baby. Is any of this illegal? No, just annoying and potentially embarrassing. So that's good to know. And then they also have a full fucking YouTube video for that, but we won't get into that. Because now we're going to get into your segment. I hope this one wasn't too annoying.
It was, I'm going to throw a fit. All these people, if there's somebody out there that, the only use for this article realistically is somebody wondering if they are annoying and then going on to this and being like, oh shoot, these are all things I do.
Yeah,
I should really reform my actions.
That's the only positive thing from this, because the other thing, it is literally a how-to of how to be a dipshit. Like it is a net negative for the world. Otherwise.
Well, I hope you aren't annoyed by my next segment, which is a Wikipedia historian. And this one is not coming to us exclusively from Wikipedia. It's coming from Wikipedia, The Hustle, New York Mag, The Ringer, a bunch of different locations. And this is the history of Rocky Aoki. Do you know anything about Rocky Aoki? Founder of Benihana?
I was going to make jokes about, all right, Rocky, you got to go into that DJ set. You got to get real good at DJing.
His history is kind of buck wild, and I only recently learned about it, so I thought I would share. So his full name is actually Hiroki Aoki.
Okay.
And maybe it's Hiroki Aoki, but when he came to the States, he changed it to just be Rocky because it was more Englishified. Yeah. I guess people had an easier time.
I presume he's from Japan?
He's from Japan, yes. He was born in Tokyo in 1938. According to Rocky, his father, Yonosuke, was a playboy with a love for Vaudeville and the restaurant biz, an industry he entered right around the same time American B-29 bombs bombed Tokyo in 1942, killing a lot of people. Apparently, the legend is that his father was walking through the wreckage and spotted a tiny red flower amidst the soot and destruction, and decided to name his new cafe after the plant, Benihana.
Huh, that interesting. I didn't know it came from that. I thought it was Benihana. Just kind of sounds like an American in the 50s going to Hawaii and going, I'm going to appropriate this, but also I like the name Benny. Like,
yeah,
I never thought about the name really.
I guess I should have prefaced this by saying Benihana is a what's the hibachi style restaurant that's like, it's American Japanese food.
Yeah,
that's the intention.
And they have
it's not really supposed to be.
Do they have the skillet where they like flip
it's a very theatrical meal where the chefs are sort of putting on a show while also preparing your meal. They're putting on a show that involves the cooking of the meal. It's like on top of this big flat grill, and it's based on, I believe, teppanyaki from Japanese culture. So anyways, we're going to get more into that. So growing up, Rocky's wrestling talent earned him a spot on Japan's 1960 Olympic team and a scholarship to wrestle in the States at Springfield College in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Ooh. Yay.
Little local legend, the Rocky Aoki.
Yeah.
After graduating in 1963 with an associate's degree in restaurant management, he followed in the footsteps of his family business. That summer, he saved $10,000 from driving an ice cream truck in Harlem and used it to persuade his father to co-invest in a 4-table Japanese teppanyaki restaurant. Yes, okay. Teppanyaki. But his showman father balked at the idea, believing spectacle is what puts American butts in seats.
Oh my God.
So at just 25, Rocky asked his veteran chefs to throw in all the bells and whistles, prepare meals over an iron griddle, crack jokes and eggs with customers, and set onion volcanoes ablaze. Mm-hmm. And in 1964, in Midtown Manhattan, Benihana was born. Imagine being 25 and you open your first restaurant in Midtown Manhattan.
You could tell this is post World War II.
This is a different time.
And then he bought a house. I have to say, Speaking of the timing,
he scooped ice cream, and that got him enough money to launch a business.
Yeah, exactly. I have to say, just going back real quick to the description of his dad of being like a ladies' man and like in post-war Like, because he was in Imperial Japan, which to my mind is very like strict and also like it's a weird vibe to be like walking down the street just like giving everyone finger guns.
What's up, ladies?
Yeah. Also, I had a karate instructor named Rocky, and so something about those Rockies got to fight. Rocky's got to fight.
Rocky's got to be fighting. Everyone's fighting Rocky. Japanese food was rare in the U.S. at the time, so Rocky Aoki kept his menu simple. He barred any fish items other than shrimp. An early Benihana tagline was, "No slithery, fishy things," which is wild in the context of Japanese food.
Yeah, that's very bold. That's very American. Like that, or that I should say that's a stereotype that they projected onto Americans. Because I like fish. Yeah, I'm fine. Like,
yeah, I think. Yeah. I think he was right in identifying, though, that like the America wasn't quite yet ready for real Japanese food at that time. Like that's a correct, for the time. I think that's a correct assertion.
Maybe not raw fish, but I don't see why they couldn't cut up a fish and like serve it. I don't know.
For the first 6 months, Rocky slept on the floor of the restaurant's bathroom, losing money on the joint. Oof. Then he got found, quote unquote. A rave review from the New York Herald Tribune eventually brought in crowds and regulars of the likes of Muhammad Ali and Sean Connery. Rocky capitalized on time in the spotlight, opening new restaurants in Chicago, Honolulu, San Francisco, and LA. By 1972, Benihana had nearly 20 restaurants, profiting $12 million a year.
Damn.
That's pretty nuts.
In that,
that's not that many. It's in 8 years. So in 8 years, he went from sleeping on the floor to $12 million a year in 1972.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a 1972. That's a huge amount of money. He's also playing it like he's playing Pandemic, where he's like going after the major cities and stuff instead of going for like small town USA.
I think maybe he just liked those locations as places he liked to go, and so was like, well, I'll open like Honolulu. Like that's not necessarily a target market that's going to earn you buttloads of cash, but I
can see it working out because I think Honolulu has a lot of like Japanese expats.
Yeah, but this isn't for Japanese people.
Yeah, that's true. But
this is for Americans.
But in the context of like 1970s America / Hawaii, there's probably few. That was the closest you're gonna get. It's like getting a burger in China. Like you're going for the comfort. You're not going for the quality.
Rocky would open many more locations of Benihana beyond that initial one in Midtown, becoming a multimillionaire by 1979 and eventually engineering a global empire of 78 locations. Its tentacles spread across the states, Aruba, Panama, El Salvador, and Brazil. It's a restaurant where onions spout flames and intensity of a 5-alarm with the intensity of 5-alarm house fires, where oil-glazed prawns somersault in midair, where sorceress cooks sport bouffant red toques that are decidedly more French than Japanese. This writer was having a field day.
Oh, yes. Toques or whatever.
Toques, decidedly more French. The restaurant's exaggerated theater is commensurate with the life of the man responsible for bringing it to this country in the first place. Rocky Aoki led a life of unrepentant excess, one that probably merits a meaty biopic. He embodied the dick-swinging, occasionally toxic braggadocio associated with a number of today's most visible male celebrity chefs. He cameoed on Hawaii Five-0, won a national backgammon championship, and later won a grueling road challenge on a 1,300-mile route from Milan to Moscow, driving his vintage Rolls Royce.
He's early Andrew Tate. Like he's just like trying to.
He's
do
early
as much.
The most interesting man in the world.
So
he's just trying to like
do whatever he wants,
live his life. I think that he probably was like never actually interested in running a restaurant full time and was like, well, now I have money, so let's just go crazy.
Yeah, that was interesting for him. If he wasn't into, most of the people I know that open restaurants are really into it because they don't make a ton of money and they usually go bad.
Well, if you lived in the 1960s, all you had to do was drive an ice cream truck for one summer and you had the funds.
Existed, then they give you a business. But yes.
Rocky took to his celebrity by air, land, and sea, slapping Benihana branding across all of his vehicles.
He's taking the Benihana mobile?
The Benihana mobiles.
All right, can you make it look like a big onion volcano, please? And have it shoot out fire from the top?
An avid speedboat racer, he created the Benihana Grand Prix, which he himself won in 1979, sailing a 38-foot catamaran.
This is wacky races. This is not. There's a monkey in the back of his thing that is throwing wrenches like that. He took the engines out of the other things so they didn't start, and he could only go. Like
he's like, I'll pay $10 million to the winner. Oh, would you look at that?
Oh, I don't have to pay anybody,
huh? In late 1979, during a training run to prepare for the next Benihana Grand Prix, Rocky caught air going 80 miles per hour in the San Francisco Bay, destroying his speedboat and damn near himself. He touched down under the Golden Gate Bridge with a broken arm, a shattered leg, a torn aorta, and his liver split in two.
Oh, and he survived?
Like he nearly died.
Wow.
He survived it though. He awoke in a hospital bed in San Francisco to find his then wife, Chizuru Aoki, and his mistress, Pamela Hilberger, standing over him, their first time meeting. In a New York Magazine interview, he recalled, "I'm completely naked, tube in my penis. I see my wife standing over me on one side. On the other side, I see my girlfriend. I say, oh, she..."
Oh yeah,
no.
That's always that is a classic. I feel like that's more of like a mafioso. I guess he's a famous like rich person, and that happens a lot with them too. But this is funny for the Benihana's guy to be in this situation.
Lying in his hospital bed, wife and then mistress hovering over him, Rocky didn't know what to do. So he closed his eyes and faked a blackout. He then started to think things over. Really good moment for reflection there, buddy.
Yeah,
this is great. On your deathbed, yeah.
I'm glad that he has any sort of shred of self-reflection to have that moment of like, this is bad for me,
Sometimes it's bad. Sure, he was rich, but lately things had gotten out of control. He wasn't just a high-flying businessman. He had become like Hugh Hefner. He'd even founded a porn magazine, Genesis, which had its own Benihana-style gimmick. 2 centerfolds for the price of 1.
Is that... Man, America really was just the land of opportunity, wasn't it?
You could do whatever you wanted. It was wild. Apparently,
it was when capitalism actually worked in that way, where you're like, "Oh, we got to undercut the competition by adding another centerfold. It'll add 0.2 cents to the production,
and we'll vertically integrate so that when you come to Benihana, we'll show you one of the centerfolds and make you pay for the other one. Now that's capitalism."
I like that his perfect customer would be somebody who masturbated and then went to a Benihana's. That's his key demographic.
Oh God, who got there on a speedboat and then went to, He also opened a 4-story midtown disco club called Club Genesis, which became his own private playpen. Night after night, Rocky stayed up till dawn, snorting cocaine, picking up girls, and betting $100 per point on backgammon, which apparently he was very good at because he won. For years, he'd been hiding his mistress Pamela from his wife Chizuru, while hiding his other girlfriends, including Miss Iceland, from both of them.
Miss Iceland?
Miss Iceland? Like what? Dude, what did you have the time?
I gotta say, though, Miss Iceland
That's terrible.
Could be absolutely beautiful, but there's not a lot of competition in Iceland, to be honest.
Pretty small place.
Yeah, pretty small population.
Before his accident, Rocky boasts that he had 3 kids from 3 different women at exactly the same time.
This is the Benihana's guy? This is the Benihana's guy.
He only found out about the 3rd child via a paternity suit.
How is he? I could understand if he was like, I'm the club owner, but is he like, have you ever had a little shrimpy thrown into your pocket? And they're like, oh my God, I'm getting hot and heavy already. You're the guy that provided that situation for me?
You're the guy? You're the guy who had the pea bottle boy of oil that sprayed down all the vegetables?
Oh yeah, my. You want to see my oil bottle, lady?
Oh my God. Aoki also partially funded and crewed the Double Eagle 5, the first balloon to successfully cross the Pacific Ocean. Double Eagle 5 launched.
No. He's a Victorian gentleman now too. He's like fucking steampunking his way across
around the world
in a fucking big hot air balloon.
It launched from Nagashima, Japan on November 10th, 1981 and landed in Mendocino National Forest in California 84 hours and 31 minutes later. It traveled 5,700 miles and set a 38-year world record for piloting the longest hot air balloon flight ever.
I gotta say that shorter than I thought, but also very appropriate that it was in a forest because to me indicates that they were like blown off wind, and they're like, oh god, there's trees. There's trees there. Don't hit the trees.
I don't know how you reliably tell that when you take off from Japan, you're not just dead in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, that's the risk. Like that's because that's.
But what's he's worth tens of millions of dollars at this point. What's the goal here, bud?
There is no goal. That's the point. Is he has nothing. He's 100% of the game and is now doing the side activities. Like,
I can't believe that you're inside the mind of this man justifying his actions, because I can't relate.
I'm not going to say it was like smart or good that he did. This is also the weirdest thing that he could do, because like I could kind of understand the speedboat thing. It's weird, but it's like that's going fast. People have race cars, like, but a hot air balloon, because you're more likely to find the body of oh my god, what's her, Amelia Earhart. I just Googled famous pilot lady, by the way. But you're going to find Amelia Earhart's body more likely that you're going to actually land. 32 hours, though, I got to say that's a hell of a
84
wind.
hours. 84 hours.
That's a hell of a wind. Even, like, because a flight is going to be, 12 hours by itself?
Yeah, right. It's quite the wind, yeah.
Quite the wind.
In 1999, Rocky pleaded guilty to insider trading after paying $10,000 for a tip on a stock called Spectrum Information Technologies. He managed to escape a prison sentence because of his health problems. He acquired hepatitis C during a blood transfusion after his boating accident. But the real damage is already done. To avoid revocation of Benihana's liquor license, he was forced to cede his interest in Benihana of Tokyo to a trust managed by 3 of his children. Benihana of Tokyo is a pretty buck wild idea. It's like
yeah, it is.
It's like if in downtown Manhattan,
it's
like an American went to Japan and was like, here's a whole bunch of American food, and then brought that back to America, but it wasn't real America. Like, it wasn't real food from America.
It's like Germany's biggest hamburger restaurant was
Right.
brought back to America and was like, when you ate it, you're like, this is the shittiest hamburgers I've ever seen.
This is terrible. In his final years, the rich spectacle of Aoki's life all but eclipsed his achievements. He was the subject of Rocky's Family Horror Show, a lengthy New York Magazine story by Logan Hill in November 2006. Published just after he filed the lawsuit against his children, the piece created a portrait of irresolvable family chaos with Rocky at the eye of the hurricane.
God.
The lawsuit was unresolved even at the time of his death in July 2008 from complications from pneumonia. He was 69 years old. The suit eventually fell to his last wife, Keiko Ono Aoki, who at that point was entangled with a separate legal dispute with 2 of Rocky's children to determine the rightful heir to the multi-million-dollar Benihana Protective Trust. In 2016, a judge ruled in favor of 2 of Rocky's children, DJ Steve and model actress Devin. Apparently DJ Steve, they just referred to one of his children as only DJ Steve with no other context. It's just DJ Steve.
Okay, we're getting to the end of the story, and surprisingly, this is the least surprising part, is that he's getting arrested,
Steve.
and then I would absolutely watch Succession Benihana's edition. Are you fucking kidding me? Because this is exactly that. It's like nepotism kids, where it's like, I'm a DJ, I'm a cool guy. Like, it's
where all the kids are fighting over the control of the company, and meanwhile the dad who controls the company is like off in a hot air balloon and doesn't give a shit.
Has not seen his children. He's just having girlfriends and stuff,
doing a lot of cocaine and racing speedboats.
Oh my god! And they're just like, Dad, you never loved me or my music.
Kevin, who was one of the children named in Rocky's 2006 lawsuit, speaks of his father in positive terms today and avoids going into detail about the lawsuit. Things went a little bit haywire, he tells me of that period in the family's history, implying that the conflict's scars have faded. Even at the height of Rocky's influence, when America's taste for Japanese food was far more rudimentary than it is today, he wasn't immune to the change that his restaurants were aggressively inauthentic. He wasn't immune to the charge that his restaurants were aggressively inauthentic simulacrums of Japanese dining. Though Benihana might be Japanese cuisine in scare quotes, Rocky didn't apologize. Sometimes he outright admitted that effectively deracinating his restaurants was key to his triumphs. He told the New York Times reporter in 1974, "The minute I forgot I was Japanese, success began," which is a pretty sad quote.
Yeah, that's wow. That's
it's like super the opposite of what food culture is today, where it's like your your background and what you bring, your perspective is what is valued now.
Yeah, that's personal, like erasure of your culture. That's very sad.
I think he came to America and was all in on sort of assimilation, and that in that time period it was like kind of the pathway to success.
Yeah, I guess so. That's
depending on who you. So the article finishes off of, depending on who you ask, Rocky's means of achieving success can either read as aspirational or cautionary. It's the ultimate assimilationist success story. The second he landed in America, Rocky was fueled by the engine of feverish capitalistic ambition, one that he saw as fulfillment of the American dream. And close.
Aren't we all looking for that American dream ourselves? And he got it, and he was just right place, right time, and then he went absolutely fucking apeshit.
This just doesn't seem like a story that could ever happen again.
Oh, like, what are you talking about? I can absolutely. This is going to happen more and more as people get more wildly rich. Elon Musk bought Twitter.
No, I'm saying his rise from basically like scooping ice cream into multimillionaire, like
that's
just by doing like whatever he felt like doing.
Yeah,
it wasn't like he was like gaming the system. He was just did like a series of things he wanted to do.
Yeah, I think the takeaway from this is that it is a lot of luck, because if he didn't have that first like taking off point, he would still be sleeping in the bathroom of the Benihana.
He got discovered. Yeah.
So, I mean, that good for him, I guess. But then he took it, and then he did wild shit. Which is,
he did wild shit.
If he didn't do illegal stuff, it would, and like
he would be kind of a legend if he wasn't such a scumbag.
Yeah, exactly.
Like also, like he was also kind of like just like proud of being a scumbag. Where like he was of the era of Hugh Hefner, where it was like there was some idolatry to the scumbag who like gets all the ladies. And that's kind of the path he followed, which is kind of weird. Yeah,
but that seems very common for especially this kind of businessman. Because I listened to a thing about like a multi-part thing from another podcast, Behind the Bastards. It's like a 6-parter on Vince McMahon, who, for people who don't know, he runs the WWE, I think. And he's a big piece of shit. You don't get 6 parts on Behind the Bastards, which is the same
6 parts,
same
Jesus.
amount that they have for Henry fucking Kissinger. So like,
Jesus Christ.
But obviously his crimes are lesser, but his father was also like a wrestling promoter, but like and was also shady, which seems like he also had. Like his father also sounded like a womanizer business guy that then rubbed off on his son and probably said like, in order to succeed, you gotta get a lot of money and do all this stuff.
Right.
And then it never makes a good person. Like he and that's what you gotta. This has been a lot of this episode. We kind of stumbled on the theme of bad people. How to be bad people.
This guy did so many like just wacky off the wall things. Anyways, so I wanted to bring that to your attention because as soon as I read this, I was like, "What the hell is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this man? How can he be?"
I think at least he did interesting. He lived the most interesting man life. At least,
yes, he did. He tried to do that, and in many ways succeeded.
I respect that. I respect that probably more than like I don't know, dismantling democracy, like other rich people do.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what we're going to dismantle now? The podcast. This episode of the podcast. I'm not going to like...
We're dismantling it. We're taking it down to bones. We're selling it off for scrap. We're selling all the pieces.
Yeah, we're breaking it down like a bunch of carnies that we are. And unlike carnies who break down a carnival and run away in the night, we're going to...
Is that how the carnival...
Yeah.
During the middle of the night, they all just scatter?
Yeah, that's how... I think that's actually how carnivals work. They just kind of move on. But unlike carnivals, we're going to say thank you to everybody that came to this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, carnivals, they say fuck you on your way out. They say never come back.
they
do.
They're here for like a long time. They're just here for a good time and also to get as much Bud Light and heroin as they can. But thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the podcast. Remember, if you have any beautiful segments that you want to send to us, such as the life of somebody else who has a very interesting life, send it to segmentcitypodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter is Segment City, or YouTube is Segment City, and leave us ratings and reviews. We love to see them. And tell us how we're doing on the podcast. And we got to tell somebody else how they're doing
That'll be Rachel Robinson. Thank you to Rachel. She does our intro music, and she has new music coming out soon. Stay tuned. Go to the streaming sites. Do the thing.
Yes.
Listen to her fantastic music. And some say every night she disassembles her instruments and scatters. She's gone in the night. Zoom.
I mean, that's what bands do. That is genuine.
That's right. She breaks it all down. She's gone.
But it's just her by herself. She's breaking down the entire stage, and then they don't. That's the heist of the century because they go, "Wasn't there a bar here?" And she's taken the bar.
She's taking it. Yeah. Where's my bassoon? Yeah. Anybody see my bassoon?
Man, the other bassoon. We're going to have Rachel on, and then we're going to have the big bassoon band. And they're missing all their bassoons.
All bassoon band, yeah.
What happened to all of these?
Davey and the Bassoon Boys.
That's the worst name.
That's what's happening. That's it.
Davey and the Bassoon Boys?
Yeah, that's a band.
Everyone's just like, oh my God, this is the soundtrack of Fat Man Stampede. I can't believe it. But you know what is Fat Man hate? Food poisoning.
Being poisoned. Yeah.
And so we're going to end with iwaspoisoned.com. This is a website where people post their food poisoning ailments. This is somebody who bought from a Walmart supercenter in Charlestown, West Virginia, USA. Ate a Klondike bar at noon from a package. Household of 3 people. We ate the same meal, but I'm the only one who ate a Klondike. At 1:45, started sweating. Became dizzy and nauseous. From 2 to 3 p.m., severe vomiting and diarrhea. By 6 p.m., I felt okay.
Hey, Jerry, what are you doing over there? Nothing. It's my personal secret Klondike time. They'll never know. Oh, jeez. Hey, Jerry, are you in the bathroom? No. It's my secret personal barfing time. They'll never know.
This is what he gets. I got those laxative Klondike bars for myself. Thank you very much.
For myself.
I wanted to throw up and poop everywhere. I needed a good clean out. Yuck. Anyway, we're cleaning out the podcast. We're done with it.